So as you guys know, I originally came to Japan and wanted to go to Osaka a week before coming up to Tokyo. However, because of the typhoon, I couldn't quite go to there. So over the past weekend, we made like a kind of like a makeup trip to go down to the south of Japan in Osaka. Just over the weekend though, just because I had to come back to Tokyo for some like school orientation stuff. So in the 3 days we were there, we went to Osaka, Kyoto, and Nara. Just kind of like spending a day in each of those towns. Not quite enough time to see everything, but enough time to kind of get like a peek of the main attractions there. The first place we ended up going is Nara. So from Tokyo to Nara is about 4 hours. It's about the same time as if you wanted to go from Tokyo to Osaka, just because of how the locations and things work. Like we have Tokyo here, Osaka, Nara's here, Kyoto's like here. So it's kind of like an awkward trip, and there's some inefficiency in transportation if I were to be honest. We came to Nara, and as soon as you get out of Nara, you could start walking up, and as soon as you start walking up, you start to see the wild deer, which is what Nara is most famous for. So when you get up to around near Nara Park, you start to see wild deer everywhere, and the wild deer are so accustomed to people because everyone treats deer well. They're kind of treated as kind of like sacred animals there, so they're really calm and they don't mind humans at all. They're not scared. They let you pet them and everything. And what's really cool is that you could buy some deer biscuits. They're only 150 yen, and you get like a nice stack of them, probably around like 8 pieces or something, and you could feed the deer, which is really cool. However, what's not cool is that sometimes the deer could be really hungry, maybe depending on the time of day you go or the location where you buy the biscuits and what kind of deer are surrounding them. But as soon as you buy the biscuits, the deer pretty much, they can smell it, I guess, and they hurtle around you and basically harass you to feed them.
Yo, Jordan, you're gonna run out.
I'm already out.
Yo, no shit, they're coming for me now.
So I just fed them all my crackers. I didn't get to film it though because they literally just chase you and harass you until you're all out. Dude, I thought like I got enough crackers to feed before I get them out. Yeah, it's just like, oh man, my shit.
I need to like put this away.
My shirt is like eaten. And as soon as all my biscuits were gone, the deer just pretty much didn't care about me. They left and to try to find more food. So that was quite the experience. The deer though, even though they're like harassing you to feed them, and they could get a little bit aggressive. Overall, I would say it's still more tame compared to maybe like what other animals might do to you. They're not like snappy or anything like that. But I definitely saw like some other tourists that were trying to feed the deer that were panicking a little bit or a little bit scared. But nothing to worry about, and I think it's quite safe to be feeding the deer even if they're like really hungry. So a little bit past that, after we fed the hungry deer, there was like this kind of I don't know what it was, but there was some kind of like shaved ice event going on, and there was like a bunch of different tents with a feature of their own shaved ice. Like I kind of want to think it was a competition or something, but so yeah, there was like 6 different shaved ices that you could buy. You buy a ticket for and go to your tent and pick it up. I ended up buying the shaved ice that cost me 1,000 yen. But shaved ice is really popular in Japan, so I really wanted to give it a try. And the one I got was massive. So pretty much what they do is they shave the ice, they put a layer of like condensed milk on it, put more shaved ice on it, and then put the syrup on it. Mine in particular had that combination anyways, but other ones would be like shaved ice and some other toppings on it. But it was really good. Like a lot of times when you get shaved ice where they just shave actual ice and not like that kind of milky frap stuff, usually it's a bit chunky, but this one was like really smooth, and because of the combination of the syrups, it made it like creamy, and it had different flavors to it. Mine's had like orange, berry, and the condensed milk and something else. and like, oh, it was like a berry syrup on top. So it was really delicious. And so if you come to Japan, definitely try out the shaved ice here. So once you get into the park a bit more, there's like huge temples. We saw this really big temple. Couldn't go in it though because it was a paid entrance, and it looked like they were doing some kind of renovations or something. So decided it wasn't really worth it. But there was like tons of students there from like elementary all the way to like high school. I guess it was some kind of like big field trip or something. Instead of going into the big temple, we ended up walking around more because there's tons of different shrines and temples in Nara Park. And I would say like 60% of them are free to roam around in, so it's really cool to check out and see all of the shrines and temples. On our way back down to the SkyTrain, one thing I had to catch was the Mochi. There's a very famous, like, I think there's a viral video on the internet where these guys are making the Mochi by hand. They're like, and they coordinate, they're like yelling at it while they pound the Mochi. Mochi, by the way, something I really like. I grew up with it, so one of my favorite foods here in Japan. So I wanted to go check out that store, but because it was later in the day, they weren't making any more mochis because they had plenty of stock. Didn't get to see it live, unfortunately, but I did get to try their mochi, and it was really good for 130 yen. I wish I could just. I'd probably go back and buy more. If I have any other reason to go back to Nara, I'll definitely go back and buy a lot of the mochi there because it was so good. If you guys are planning to come to Nara, definitely I think one day is good enough, just because you only really need one day to walk around the park, see the deer, the temple, the mochi, and they're all really close by together near the train station, so it's all very accessible. So Nara, definitely a place I recommend going to if you ever do come to Japan and have a day to spare. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe for more content. Comment down below if you've ever been to Nara Park, or if you have any kind of park in your country that has like a bunch of wild animals you can pet. And also check out my Instagram page because I post pretty much every day about my time here in Japan. So that's it guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.